Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about some of the Zman micro finesse plastics and which ones I think are the best. So these Zman micro finesse plastics come out about, I don't know, about 2 years ago. As soon as I saw they were announced, I thought it would be a great idea because they're made of that Elastec. And if you don't know that Elastec, it's just a super stretchy plastic. If I did this with normal plastisol, it would break, but this Elastec stuff, it's like an elastomer type plastic. It's really tough, really stretchy, which means you end up catching more fish. And if you know anything about panfish, brim, shellcracker, things like that, they love to nip at tails and grab the tail, and then you pull and set the hook, and your normal soft plastic would break. And the Zman stuff's a little bit tougher, so I thought it would be a great idea as soon as I saw they were making this stuff. And they have all kinds of different models. They have a version of their goat, or micro goat. They have something called the baby ballers. It's just a little soft plastic with a ball at the end of the tail. The baby ballers is great for vertical jigging, in my opinion. I've caught lots of fish with it. The tiny ticklers, it's just a little, like a TRD with little tentacles at the end. Make sure I'm not leaving any out. I think at one point I owned them all. And the stingers, I don't know how well you can see this, but the stingers is similar to the baby baller. It has a little like ball type shape at the end, but it has a shorter body. Now my favorite, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I catch a lot of fish on these shad fries. And these shad fries, they kind of have a fat body up top. They're not very long. Fat body. Little segmented tail here. You can see it better from this perspective. And then a boot at the end of the tail here. And that boot is going to make it kind of kick in the water ever so slightly. So if you're letting it drop down, it's going to be kicking while it's dropping down. Or if you're swimming it, that tail is going to be going while it's swimming. So on the drop, you've got some extra action and swimming it. And this size right here, it is big enough to get the attention of like your big crappie. I've caught catfish on it. I've caught lots of grinnell, lots of bass. And it's also big enough to catch your big brim, your big bluegill, things like that. And it weeds out those tiny guys that you might get on a smaller jig or on live bait. I've been using these for at least 2 years, maybe a little more than 2 years. And if I'm fishing, most of the time I'll throw these all day, and I really don't even have to throw any of the other Zman products, or really any other products. I have a bag full of soft plastics that I don't even use that much anymore. I just use the Zman stuff. Now when Zman come out with these micro finesse plastics, they also released their own jig heads. These jig heads have a little metal keeper, and they have a lead spiked collar, and you pull that tough Elastec material on the jig head, and you kind of get it straight, and it stays on there. I can rig one of those for you just so you see how it works. And then I'm going to unrig it because there's something else I want to talk about. So there's a hook slot in this plastic. So just find that little hook slot. Here we are, like so. And then you're going to want to pull the bait over. And this isn't too bad. Like, you could catch fish with this, but if you see the hook is not directly in the center, if I was fishing, I would probably work on this a little bit more and try to make it come out a little bit straighter. But for our purposes, it's fine, and I believe you could catch fish like this. Let's pull it off and talk about something else. So these hooks are extremely sharp. They're very sharp. And a lot of times, if you hook a fish on it, it's fine. You catch the fish. I've caught big bowfin. I've caught decent sized bass. I've caught catfish. They're great hooks. The problem comes whenever you snag this hook on a tree, snag it on a limb, snag it on anything that's going to require you to pull tension. Depending on where you pull this hook, sometimes it will break, and it doesn't take very much pressure to break it. I've never had a fish break it, but whenever you snag something and you try to pull it free, there's a particular spot in here. If it starts to bend, it won't bend, it'll just break. Now other times you'll hook it and it'll try to bend it somewhere else, and it'll bend like a regular light wire hook. But I have lost more plastics, more Z-Man plastics, from this hook breaking off when I don't think that it should, than I've lost any other way. And these are tough plastics. I know if this hook wasn't breaking, I probably hardly would not go through any of these, maybe one like every 50 fish. But because this hook here will break off, you'll end up losing more plastics than you should. But I haven't found a better jig head for that Z-Man stuff. The way that collar is on there, it just holds that Z-Man plastic really well. And the hook does a great job on landing you fish. It's just, it'll break on you if you get it snagged. So if you get this hook snagged, know it is not a regular light wire hook, and when you pull on it, it's going to break. So I like to go down, get my rod tip, and try to poke it loose. So if you bend it, it will break. As far as colors go, I found two that work well from where I'm fishing. If the water is clear to tannic to dirty, I like to go with this guy. If the water is straight dirty and I'm not getting bit on this electric chicken color, I'll go to what they call chartreuse. It's got some sparkles in it. It's got some chartreuse, some orange. I feel like it could look like a crawfish or a number of other things. I don't know that white perch like crawfish, but for whatever reason, the chartreuse does well. I have been known to throw that chartreuse in black color, but it's not nearly as productive as those other two colors. What I would like to do now is cut over and show you just a couple fish catches, just to kind of put some of this stuff to the test, so you can see I do catch fish on it. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, I recommend you go back, check out those. Any of the videos where I'm like catching crappie, catching brim, I'm going to be using these. I use other stuff, but since I've been filming, these guys have kind of been the big star players most of the time. There was another video where I used some other stuff, but it's pretty much all been this on camera. So let's check out those fish catches now. Felt that one go thump. What is this? Oh, it's a little perch. Okay, so they are here. maybe one. If it is, it may be a hoss. What is that? If that's a crappie, that's a good one. Yeah, oh yeah. Z-Man. Haven't had a drag puller like that in a minute. Oh yeah. That's the one we've been trying to get on video right there. Haha. Wow. That's on the Z-Man. Heck yeah, baby. Anyway, I caught that first one. Let me know they were there. It's fan casting it out. Just boop, boop, boop. And I got to about right here. That's when I hooked that one. I thought I was snagged for a minute. Now a fish that size is probably going to travel on a school. And if I'm really careful, I might be able to catch a few more of them. Another one? I don't know. We'll see something. I don't know if it's a perch or not. Oh yeah, it's a little perch. And another little wad of them back here. Alright, so there's a few fish catches for you. Like I said, I have entire videos where this guy right here is on display. And I'm using that 1/32 ounce head. I didn't mention that before. It's that Z-Man micro finesse head in 1/32 ounce. I found that 1/16 sinks just a little too fast. 1/32 is perfect. I can still throw it on my Curado BFS setup. Also, I'm not tying any loop knots or anything to this jig head, just a straight, like not a Palomar knot, but like an improved clinch knot style knot. I typically will throw this on 4-pound test, although on the river you could really get away with 6 or 8 if you needed to. But since I'm telling you I'm breaking off hooks on 4-pound test, what's the point of going any higher than that? Yeah, these things work. Start using them. They will get you some fish. They'll fill up your coolers, fill up your cooler bags, and bring you home some fish for dinner. The Z-Man stuff really works. So let me know what you think. Give me some feedback if you have any, and we will see you on the next one.